the film. Obviously, the offense put up a lot of yards, but how'd you feel like they did, and how much can they still improve on?
Yeah, it was good to put some guys in some multiple positions. I mean, I think I rotated 4 guys in there to snap the ball. You know, we had, like we said, I told you a while ago, I thought those backs are interchangeable. They all do some things well, very similar. You know, one thing with all the run game, I thought that was good was that the perimeter blocking. You know, some things we got to improve on, but I thought overall guys like Michael Pittman really fought. You know, showed his toughness. You know, I thought Jordan was poised. You know, made good decisions, didn't force anything. So of course, there's going to be a lot of correction. You know, just from I thought Duquesne did a good job of presenting multiple fronts, which causes a little bit more communication. We had to check a couple of plays, and some guys kind of didn't get it and things like that. So, you know, every game you'll come up here and talk about correction of mistakes, but overall, you know, I thought it was a good game where we didn't have many, you know, focus penalties and alignment errors. We wasn't screaming from the sideline about something, you know, so I thought that was good.
Chris? You had 4 guys snap the ball. How did they do? And also Maurice Smith's on the depth chart. What would he bring if he's inserted into that group?
Maurice has been hungry to get back, you know. So, I mean, he brings this experience. He's played the position for so long. He knows the offense. He's been in it for 3 years and things like that. So, you know, I think we'd be fired up, you know, once he says he's going to practice. So I think he will. So I think that's a good thing looking forward to it. But overall, man, I mean, you know, having those guys in there is just really getting a chance to have multiple guys that can snap the football. So I was pleased in that, but we didn't have any where we had the quarterback going to chase any. So that was a good, you know, that was a good day.
Brendan?
There was a play out there, I forget if it was second quarter, third quarter, in which Dylan Gibbons about 15, 20 yards downfield, and he knocks the safety down. One, for him to be able to be that far downfield and make the block. How impressive is that? And then 2, I guess, what has Dylan brought to this offense now going into year 2 from a stability standpoint?
Yeah, you know, we wanted to get the screen game going. You know, we knew that was one thing we wanted to kind of, you know, this year make a commitment to is committing to the screen game a little bit more, which, you know, Coach Norvell has always done in the past. We just kind of put an emphasis on it this year. And Dylan Gibbons, you know, he's a vet. You know, he's done it, you know, and at that position, he was playing center on that play. So that was good to see him get out and run. And, you know, I think I saw him retweet that thing like 10 times. So I know he enjoyed it. But no, man, Dylan's a vet. He is experienced. He knows the offense. He can play both positions. So, you know, having him is a value that I can't even describe. It's immeasurable, you know, to have a guy like that that's been in the system and got some carryover and brings a toughness and leadership to the room.
Jerry?
2-part question. One, you're facing a very good defensive front this week. How do you scout them? How did you prepare your game plan for them? Yeah. And talk about the talent of that group, the challenge it is for you.
Yeah, you know, they present problems because they're not only, you know, talented, but they're long, strong guys, you know. So what we do is we just study, you know, their tendencies, and I'm pretty sure they're breaking us down the same way, you know, and you know, welcome to, you know, big boy college football. You can play against good fronts, you can play against good teams, you can play against good talent. So it's not really more different in the preparation. It's just more of understanding what you're facing and how you're going to put our kids in the best position to have success. You know, and you know, pretty much all fronts we play on from here on are going to be pretty good. So, you know, I believe that our guys are up to the challenge. You know, and I walked past them not too long ago. They're already breaking up personnel cut-ups and film and moves and how they play these blocks and things like that. So, you know, I think they're welcoming the challenge. You know, and they understand that it starts with the work.
Coach, you talked about just, you know, to simplify things for all of us, you just say your job is to find the 5 best guys to start there on the offensive line. How do you kind of work through the math, I guess, when you look at a guy like Dylan and you kind of, I guess, assess his value at guard and then his value at center and then what that means for the person that has to kind of fill in for him? Is it a tough thing to figure out, or is it, you know, how do you go through that sort of process?
It's more just the learning curve of understanding concepts before you have to do it in multiple spots. So, you know, early on, you know, Dylan played left guard. And that's what he played, and we never, you know, moved him because he was just coming in. He got here in June of last year. So it would be unfair to play him in multiple positions when you first get him. You know, I think that deters a lot of the learning because they can't just learn the position and the base concept of what we're trying to accomplish. But now that he's been in the system, he talks about the experience. Now he understands that position. He understands what we're trying to do. Now it makes you more multiple. Well, now you can kind of go play center or play the other guard position because now you're not, you know, reactionary thinking about what my job is. You understand the base concept of what we call it when we call it a scheme. So, you know, that's what makes you multiple is experience. And, you know, early on, we had a lot of different guys playing positions and they hadn't been acclimated to playing one, which causes issues. Now we've been fortunate to have guys to learn the concepts in a position, then that makes you more multiple.
There were a few guys on the offensive line who got work at multiple spots, Jason Turnantine, Dimitri Manuel, and I think Bless may have as well.
He did.
How did you assess how those guys all did in their first game at FSU in multiple spots?
Yeah, I did that just for more understanding of concepts, just to kind of test that, you know, because it sounds good in front of the microphone, but they got to display that on film. And I thought they handled that well. You know, Jazz was a guy, like we talked about, he hadn't been acclimated in the system, but he's played a lot of college football. So his understanding of concepts kind of helped a little bit quicker because he's played a lot of football. He's an older guy. So I've kind of cheated with him and used him at both guard and tackle. But, you know, we had some, you know, a couple of miscommunications and things like that. We got to do work on with communication that builds with more continuity as we, you know, we're getting better as the season goes. So, you know, it's a value that, you know, to have some experience and have guys that can do multiple things because it builds in that depth a lot better. So, you know, that's why you want those older guys like the Jazzes, the Dylans, the Darius Washingtons, and those guys, Rob Scott, who's played both tackle positions. And as that depth is building and those young guys are starting to come on, man, you know, we're still pushing this thing forward.
You got a number of receivers in the game, especially I know a few guys who maybe haven't had a ton of the in-game production, guys like Duquesne, Ken Trumportier had success. I guess what do you think that could do for them going into this game where, I mean, obviously the competition will be a little tougher?
The proudest thing I was there, you know, they didn't have many mental errors. You know, I mean, those guys are talented. They'll be able to catch the ball and run. A guy like Deuce, you know, who played quarterback in high school and now is playing full-time receiver and made that transition, you know, at the previous place. Seeing him have a full, you know, off-season to be able to rep and do it, his confidence is a high level because he believed, you know, first thing we talk about in our program is playing smart. You know, the knowledge of the game and understanding what your assignment is. So the more they've been comfortable in their assignments, the better they're going to be able to showcase their talent and showcase their skill. And that's our job, to make sure we got them in position where they are playing fast and you know, confident. So I think those guys' confidence, you know, usually in my career, you know, wide receivers, you know, you don't have to worry about their confidence too much.
You also got some of the young offensive linemen in, Julian and Bryson, a couple of the other guys.
Oh, yeah.
What did you see out of them, and how good was that for them to just get the opportunity?
You know, I think them running out on that in that field was a little different than running out there at practice. You know, I saw a little bit of the wide eye, but I think things calmed for them and slowed down. And, you know, we was able to get, I mean, we got Julian out there, we got Daughtry out there, we got Estes Kanaya, you know, we were able to roll some multiple guys in there, but, you know, you can't simulate that. You know, that's the reality of it. So to see those guys calm, and a couple of them got emotional after just because that was the first time, you know, getting some live action. So just moving forward, it's about that progression of just getting better, you know, and just giving them like, hey, you can do this, and then a little bit more and a little bit more. And now their preparation goes up because now they want more because they want to be out there more. So just having those young guys around and giving them a little action, man, it goes a long way just because you can't simulate that in a practice situation a lot of times.
Their defensive coordinator most recently was the linebackers coach for the Chiefs. You know, Coach Norvell talked about you guys maybe reach back and look at his previous experience coordinating a defense, I guess, at Kentucky.
Yeah.
How do you go about trying to figure out what a guy's going to do, I guess, when you really haven't seen anything on tape this season? Is it the recency of what he's done most recently at his previous job, or is it what he did at his previous spot when he was in this same sort of title as a coordinator?
Yeah. Coaches mostly stick with what they've had success with, but also they have to evaluate the personnel that's in-house. So, you know, you can sit down and throw a playbook down, but you got to make sure it fits the guys that's on the roster. Like we all know, you know, the strength of their room is the D-line and things like that. So we study not only the previous stop they've been where they had success in fronts and, you know, situational work, whether it be the Chiefs, whether it be Kentucky, however far you want to go back, but you also have to study the personnel that's in front of you, because those are the guys that's going to run out there and do the scheme. So how they play blocks, how they play eyes, and things like that. So it's all inclusive in all that information to come out with the best idea which concepts you're going to get.
I mean, that said, looking at guys like Mason Smith, B.J. Ojolari, Ali Gay, I mean, how would you kind of assess how they're going to try to attack you guys? I mean, I don't want you to give anything away, but just what's your feeling and your, I guess, respect level for those players? No, man, high respect, because the one, I know how they're coached. You know, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to play with hands. They know how to, you know, play those gap and half, two gap techniques, and you know, attacking. They're kind of going into, you know, some of the,
they're going to play a base, make sure they can stop the run, and everybody's kind of going to these run twist deals and things like that. So my respect for them goes into the work I know that they're getting from coach. Like, I know how they're attacking. I know how they're attacking today. So we got our work cut out for us, and more than just the talent level, just the effort, the workload. I mean, those guys are growing. That guy was a freshman, now he's coming back and doing it. I mean, my respect for them goes because I know the work that they're doing and their excitement from getting the new staff. So, we better come ready to work.
Got a high for the last one.
Kind of by definition, defensive linemen are usually a little bit more athletic than offensive linemen.
Heard that.
Is there an inherent mindset to offensive linemen that comes with that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we make fun of D-line because they come out and do a lot of drills. It's like a drill practice where we have to understand what front they're going to be in, what the pressure is, whether it be 3 down, 4 down, strong side pressure, weak side pressure, middle pressure. I got to understand who I'm working with. There's a little bit of a mental processing out there. It's not many times I can just go out there and say be a better athlete. We got to learn how to work together and work as a unit. The 5 is one kind of mentality of understanding how we're going to defeat what they present as a complete defense, So I think, O-linemen have a chip on their shoulder because, we try to be the guys that can dissect information and also still be able to attack. It's not many times we can just say, hey, tackle, go do your thing, man, go dominate. What I mean? Like, it's more of a collective thoughts and process to be able to be on the same page and be able to find our angles, like, hey, we might need a little help here on this 3 technique, or hey, that linebacker's a little wide, I'm gonna hang with you a little bit more here, but I gotta go eventually. So being able to dissect all that information takes a lot of pride in their preparation. So I like how those guys, they come in together, they study together, they meet together. It's more growing that unit mentality, but also, yeah, D linemen, they're special. So you better find a way to work together and find your angles and your advantage points to get the job done.